Hi learners, in this video I'm going to talk about the various components of a business plan. A business plan is a formal written document which is prepared by an entrepreneur to analyze the various resources which are required and also the various activities which have to be undertaken in order to establish the business enterprise. So basically a business plan helps in listing out the various goals which are to be achieved by the business and also designing of the strategies which are required in order to achieve the goals. Now, when one goes through the format of a business plan, we can analyze that there are various components regarding relating to the business enterprise which are mentioned, like the industry structure, the organization structure of the business enterprise. Then, apart from that, an assessment of the key resources, whether it is financial, marketing, technical, or the human resource aspects, human resources analysis of these resources is also done. So basically, when we do when we preparing a business plan, there are various aspects which have to be considered. Now, some of the important aspects are the first aspect or the first component of a business plan is the financial aspects of a business plan. Well, finance is the lifeblood of any business, and no business can be brought into existence without the necessary funding. And most of the time, we've also studied that the primary objective of any business organization is to achieve profits. So basically, only if it's a profitable venture will the entrepreneur think of establishing the business enterprise. So before preparing the business plan, the entrepreneur must have completed the necessary evaluation in order to analyze the profitability of the venture. Okay, and so now let's look into the financial aspects, which are the major things which we need to consider. So while analyzing the financial aspects of a business plan, a financial summary should be made. So basically, a financial summary means trying to gather the important financial information that will be needed in order to ascertain the feasibility of the project. So some of the important data or the documents or the accounts which would help in analyzing this financial summary is an estimate first be made about the expected sales and expenses figures for at least the first 3 years, and then of cash flow figures for the first 3 years should also be ascertained. Okay, both accounts receivable as well as payable, on a yearly basis must be ascertained, and the current balance sheet figures and pro forma balance sheet figures for the first 3 years must be ascertained. So basically, by current balance sheet figures reflects the financial conditions of the business at any particular time, and this is generally required in the case of an existing business enterprise if it's preparing a business plan in order to expand its business, and pro forma balance sheet for the first 3 years after the new expansion plans have been implemented or after the new business enterprise has been set up, that also needs to be ascertained. Then further, an assessment of the risks which are associated with the business must also be made. There is no business which is free from uncertainty and risk. Uncertainty and risk are one of the characteristic features of any business. But however, the amount of risk varies depending on the nature of the business and the scale of operations of the business. And we've always also know that the higher the risk, the higher is the return. So if there is high profitability which is associated with the business, then in that case the risk associated with the business will also be high. The next analysis which should be made is about the funding requirements of the business. Like funding requirements here basically means ascertaining the total financial resources which are required in order to bring the business enterprise into existence. And analysis should also be made regarding the funding strategies. Now, funding strategies here means from where the funds which are required in the business should be procured. Now, we have different kinds of strategies, which we can adopt for meeting the financial resources of the business. Like the different sources of obtaining funds are, firstly, we have debt financing. Now, debt financing refers to those sources of finance from where the rate of interest is fixed, like obtaining loans from banks or debentures. Okay, all these are debt sources of financing. Then we have equity sources of financing are those where the rates of rate of returns which are to be paid on this equity sources varies depending on the profits of the business. So higher the profit, higher will be the return which should be paid on these from these on the finances from these sources. And then we also have various other sources of non-traditional financing. So under non-traditional financing, we have options like leases. Now, see, small business organizations or medium-sized business organizations, when they have a financial crunch or they're not able to obtain all the requirements, all the required finances, they need to cut down the financial expenses. And leasing is one activity which will help in cutting down the expenses, because in leasing, instead of purchasing the equipments, we think of taking the equipments on lease rather than purchasing it. So basically, leasing is also one of the non-traditional sources of financing. Then again, customer advances is also another non-traditional sources of financing, where we ask the customer to pay the a portion of the total portion of the final amount which they have to pay us upfront. So that is also another way of obtaining non-traditional finances. So these are some, no, and we also have vendor participation, wherein vendors furnish equipments and supplies, and in return for an equity stake in the business, which means that these vendors or suppliers will not be paid in cash for their services or the raw materials which they are supplying us. In return, we'll give them an equity stake. We'll give them a share in the business. So these are some of the important components relating to a business plan. And moreover, while analyzing the financial aspects of a business plan, the entrepreneur needs to bear in mind that the financial aspects of a business plan should act like a sales tool. Means it should be it should be attractive enough, and at the same time, it should be accurate enough so that it will convince the investors in order to go through the financial aspects of the business plan, ascertain the profitability of the business, and also advance loans to the business enterprise for its establishment and working. The next aspect of a business plan is the marketing aspects of a business plan. And basically, the marketing aspects of a business plan also has a great impact on the overall decision of the entrepreneur and the investors whether to invest in the business enterprise or not. So let's analyze some of the important aspects which one needs to consider when we are analyzing the marketing aspects of a business plan. Under the marketing aspects of a business plan, the entrepreneur needs to analyze the target market and also the strategies which should be adopted in order to conquer the target market. Now, target market refers to that customer segment which the entrepreneur wishes to serve. Like supposing if the entrepreneur is a manufacturer of footwears. Now, in footwear market also we can classify it as men's footwear, women's footwear, and then we have children's footwear. So again, in this also, if the entrepreneur wants to make only ladies footwear, then the target market for the business enterprise will be the ladies footwear. So target market basically refers to that customer segment which the business enterprise wants to serve. So basically, when one is analyzing the target market, there must be a well-defined target market, so that the right kind of projections or strategies can be made in order to capture the target market. And when we are analyzing the strategies to capture the target market, an analysis must be made regarding the wants and needs of the customers, because only if business enterprise manufactures goods which satisfies the needs of the customers, then then the business enterprise will succeed in the market and it will help in increasing the sales. So basically, strategies relating to conquering or capturing of the target market has to be made. Next thing is a channel strategy. Channel strategy here basically refers to the distribution channels which are adopted in order to move the goods from the production place to the actual place of consumption. So here we may have different kinds of participants in the channels of distribution. Like we'll have wholesalers, distributors, retailers, agents. We can also opt methods like e-commerce in order to distribute our products. So basically, the channel strategy must clearly list out the channels of distribution which will be adopted by the business enterprise to move the goods from the places of production to the places of consumption. Next is positioning. Positioning statements also needs to be prepared. Positioning basically refers to creating an image of the business and its product in the minds of the customers. So a positioning statement, when it is prepared in the business plan, it will help in putting forth the attributes or the benefits of the product and services, and it will also help in creating a favorable image in the minds of the customers. Further, the positioning statement will also describe in what way the product has been designed and tailored in order to meet the needs of the target customers. So, see, like in the example earlier in the case of, let's take the example of Cadbury's chocolates. Okay, earlier, how was it positioned in our minds a few years ago? Chocolates are generally eaten by children, and moreover, it is, that was how it was positioned at. Whereas, how did Cadbury's change this positioning strategy, I mean, concept in the minds of the customers? It came out with the concept of Cadbury celebrations, where we said that, see, on festivities or on festivals, we exchange gifts in sweets. So, sweets does not mean only traditional sweets, it could also mean chocolates, and that's why they came out with the Cadbury's celebration pack. And it started showing, on Diwali's, whether the occasion is Diwali or Raksha Bandhan or any other thing, you can still exchange Cadbury's. And in their ads, they did focus, like, how people from all age groups would love the concept of receiving chocolates on festivals. Okay, so that is how positioning strategy works, wherein we try to change the image of the products in the mind of the customers. Next we have is the product or service strategy. Now here, product or service strategy basically means giving details regarding the kind of products which will be manufactured and the kinds of service which will be rendered by the business organization. Then next thing is pricing strategy. Now pricing strategy basically means what kind of pricing policy would be adopted when we are selling the products. Like in the case of in pricing strategy, we have two types of pricing strategies which are generally adopted by business organization. One is penetration pricing strategy. In this strategy, low prices are charged when we are entering the business or when the product is new, and once the product picks up in the market, then the prices will be increased. On the other hand, the other strategy, which is skim the cream pricing strategy, aims at charging high prices initially when the product is launched, and then gradually lowers the prices once the product is becomes old in the market. Like in the case of most electronic goods, mobile handsets, or when they are launched initially, the prices are high. Then slowly the prices starts to drop down. The next thing is communication strategy. Now, communication strategy basically means the promotion strategy which will be adopted in order to communicate the existence of a product to the customers and persuade the customers to buy the products. So, communication strategies or promotion strategies could be many, like we can opt any of these means of promotion, like advertising, publicity, sales promotion. So all these methods can be adopted in order to increase the promotion of the product. So advertising is a paid form of communicating the existence of a product to the customers. On the other hand, publicity is a non-paid form of promotion where we try to sponsor events and occasions so that the business enterprise will get recognition in the minds of the customers. Next is the sales strategy. Basically means, like, what all methods or activities would be adopted in order to increase the sales. So the sales strategy will basically describe the manner in which the product and services will be sold. That is, whether it will be sold through Salesforce or through telemarketing or through direct mail. All that has to be listed out. And the procedure of generating leads, recruiting, training, and compensating the sales force also needs to be established under the sales strategy. The last is the revenue model. Basically here lists out, like, how with the increasing sales the profits would be achieved. The next component of the business plan which needs to be considered is the human resource aspects of a business plan. Now, basically all the plans which is made by a business enterprise can be put into action only with the help of the human resources or with the help of its workforce. So an efficient and competent team of people is a prerequisite for the success of any organization. And it is the talents and experiences of these human resources that adds value to the organization. So basically, in order to analyze the HRM aspects, a description of the organization structure along with the organization chart is needed. So organization structure here means listing out whether it will be the venture would be also managed by a sole proprietor or through a partnership concern or as a joint stock company. That has to be listed out. And when one is analyzing the organization chart, a bifurcation must be made regarding the top management, middle management, and the operations management. So under the top management, the structure of the top management must be listed out, And basically top management is the apex body which makes the policies, sets the goals and pools the resources required to establish the business enterprise. Then under the middle management is responsible for executing the actions of the top management, or basically putting the strategies and plans which is made by the top management into action. And the operations management are the people who work at the operations level, whether it is be it at the shop floor level in the case of a manufacturing concern, or those people who are actually engaged in production. So these are the people who will interact with the customers and vendors directly. Then further, the supporting staff also plays an important role in the organization. Hence, their duties also need to be clearly listed out. Then advisory services are also required in any business enterprise, like advisory services in the case of matters such as legal matters relating to finance and auditing are required. And because these services are required by an business enterprise, an analysis of all these services required should also be made. So basically, the about information relating to the top management, the organization structure, advisory services in the in the required in the business will help in ascertaining the number and the type of employees which will be required in the business enterprise, and also helps in ascertaining the pay structure and the training methods to be adopted for these employees at various levels. Then the next aspect which needs to be considered is the technical aspects of a business plan. Now, technical aspects of a business plan helps in analyzing the level of technology which is to be required to manufacture the goods or render the services in a business enterprise, and also lists out the sources from where this technology has to be obtained, and also lists out the costs which will be associated in procuring this technology. So the technology so used should be simple, and at the same time it should be flexible enough. And while outlining the plan of technology, it should also be borne in mind as to how the company might grow or change, and how this would necessitate again a change in the technology. So basically, when one is choosing the technology, factors relating to the costs of the technology, the ease of use, then the flexibility of the technology, maintainability should also be considered. The next aspect of the business plan is the social aspects of a business plan. See, a business plan no doubt has the primary objective of making profits, but service to the society should also be one of its objectives. So, keeping this in mind, the social aspects of a business plan basically is made to analyze as to how, after establishment of the business enterprise, it would benefit the society or contribute to the social welfare of the society. So basically, in the social aspects of the business plan, the focus should be on the welfare of the society. So some of the aspects in the social plan could also be like how the business enterprise would aim at protecting the environment and protecting its ecology by undertaking measures like anti-pollution measures. Further, details of about the social welfare programs which the business will undertake, like making charitable contributions, or undertaking adopting villages for their all around development. All these activities should be listed out. And further, the business enterprise should also list out as how improved production techniques will contribute or will benefit the society on a whole. So basically, the social aspects of the business plan will list out how the business will discharge its corporate social responsibility towards the society. So these are some of the important aspects of the business plan.